Imagine waking up one day to discover that there's more to you than you thought. Your age isn't what you thought it was. Your life experience is richer. Your abilities are much more. The chains they ascribe to you have no hold over you. That's the story of Africa. There's more to our history than we know. Much more. It's time to decolonize our history. Nigeria is not 64 years old, neither is Ghana 67 years old, or Kenya 61. All African countries are ancient places with roots that go deep into the soil of African history, stretching back long before the British, the French, or the Portuguese cast their imperial shadows across the continent. The real tragedy is not just that the decades-old ages of African countries are touted as facts. The real tragedy is that these supposed ages reflect a much broader, deeply entrenched erasure of African histories, one that has turned a millennia of African stories into footnotes in a Western narrative. In the classroom of the colonizers, we learned about the great civilizations of the world. Like Rome and Greece, we were taught about the Renaissance and the Industrial Revolution and the Enlightenment, as though Africa was merely a silent backdrop to Europe's rise. Yet the Mali Empire under Mansa Musa, the richest man to ever live, was a beacon of learning and wealth. The University of Timbuktu, founded in the 1100s, was a hub of intellectual exchange where scholars from across the Islamic world came to study science, literature, and law. The great Zimbabwe, whose towering stone walls were built in the 13th century, stood as a testament to architectural ingenuity. Decolonizing African histories is not just about correcting the facts. It is about reclaiming the power to tell our own stories. It is about acknowledging the depth, complexity, and richness of African civilizations, movements, and knowledge systems. It is about dismantling the colonial frameworks that still shape the way the world sees Africa and the way we see ourselves. We are more than the victims of history. We are its makers. We make history.